Hey guys, it's Anashi here. It is Top 3 Tuesday. This Top 3 Tuesday, it is going to be the top 3, my 3 games that do not have a sequel or do not have any spin-offs. I did a little bit of research trying to, figure it out, which one, if they didn't have any for sure, but one of them, I have to say, is one of my favorite. This was my number one. Just want to put it out here now. It is Sky Gunner. This is an Atlas game. It is a 3D flight sim, steampunk style. You're one of 3 pilots, and yeah, it's just like a aerial dogfight game with a real good story. This was an excellent game, and that was my number one. But it turned out there was a sequel called on PC only download that was called Heart Gunner. So a couple years later. So this, fortunately, is not on the list. So that's out of the way. Let's start with number 3. Number 3 is Wade Hickston's Counterpunch. This came out on the Game Boy Advance. I don't have the box. I've been looking for it. I love this game right here. Follows Wade Hickston. It is pretty much a little bit of a modified ripoff of Punch Out. It's kind of in that vein. You're Wade Hickston. You get to fight numerous fighters. All of them are very colorful. You could fight like a pimp, a gorilla, a African tribal assassin. It's a Garbage Man is the first one you fight. It's very colorful, a lot of fun. It just has a lot more mechanics in there. You can hire people. You could hire like a ring girl to distract your opponent. You could learn moves, pay to learn different moves, and this is a lot of fun. So love it. This is a great game, harder to find. If you do find it, buy it. I think I picked this one up for $10, but it's the only time I ever seen it, and I picked it up. So that's my number 3, Wade Hickston's Counterpunch. Oh, by the way, it used to be called Sadistic Boxing and Sucker Punch instead. All right. Now, I would show you some footage of the games, but I'm a new YouTuber. I don't have everything set up yet. I'm still trying to straighten out my game room and reorganize it so I could actually, do a game room tour. My room's pretty amazing. I have a pretty good collection. That's only part of it. It wraps around everywhere and it's still in boxes. I just don't have room for it all. So I got to figure out how I want to set it up and then get all my consoles set up too. Just been really busy. All right, so number 2 on my list is a Dreamcast game called Elemental Gimmick Gear, or EGG. Now this is a action role-playing game. It kind of reminds me of like a Zelda type game with hand-drawn graphics. It is just amazing looking. This is one of the best looking games on the Dreamcast. Yeah, so basically they discover this dome, in dome ruins, and they find this guy. He's nicknamed him the Sleeper. He was asleep in the egg, the Elemental Gimmick Gear, and they tried to wake him up, and they ended up cloning the technology and making numerous egg robots. And later, a few years later, those egg robots were exploring the ruins, and they wake up. What is it called? A psycho mother, and basically start off a whole chain of events. And 100 years pass, and your Sleeper wakes up, and he has no memory of who he is, and yeah, that's where the story begins. Now, one thing that does happen is you do get different elemental attacks and stuff, and the boss fights go into a 3D battle instead of just like a 2D overhead. So yeah, cool game. Let's start with Cartia. Cartia, it's an Atlas game. The artist who did this also worked on Final Fantasy series. You could see some similarities of the Final Fantasy artwork. And he also was really well known for Persona. He worked on a lot of the Persona graphics. So basically you follow, there's 2 volumes in this game. You basically follow 2 different characters and their stories will intertwine. It's a tactics game with cards. You could combine cards to create new attacks and make them more powerful. So, and what's I love about this game is the music. The soundtrack is absolutely amazing. You know, it's like a big box. They have it a big box because it's a big fat manual in here. But I wish they included a soundtrack. You know, put it soundtrack on one side, game on the other. Oop, and it fell loose. But yeah, this is an excellent game. It's another Atlas game, which is most of my games I have that I really like. So here's an Atlas game. That's honorable mention number 1. Hexy's Force. It's another tactics game. This is more of the vein of like Final Fantasy Tactics. It also has dual protagonists that you could follow each story. So you could do one playthrough one character, another playthrough through the other. But just another really excellent Atlas tactical RPG game. And what do you know? Another Atlas game. Thousand Arms. This is a funny RPG that is like a dating sim. You could get girls to join your party and they have different powers. And it was just a lot of fun. So those are my honorable mentions. And then my the game that I wish they actually would make more of this is Rogue Galaxy. This does not have a sequel, unfortunately. I mean, the story was good. I enjoyed it. You know, this is basically an action RPG. You have 3 characters you could switch between, and you fight. You don't warp into a battle. You just fight in the overworld. You know, so you just when you encounter a monster, you would just fight it openly. So this is it's kind of like it's a gauge battle system. So you have gauge with your battle meter. It fills up. Every type attack you do or thing you do, it uses some of your gauge. You can combine your attacks, and you know, your weapons could gain experience, and you could combine weapons and make new ones. So this is it's a fun hack and slash action RPG. Really, I mean, I thought it was a pretty good story. You know, it's about a kid who's, you know, foraging in the desert and comes across a monster. Random stranger comes up and gives him a sword, and this planet is held by the Empire, and you know, he joins the pirates, some space pirates, and you know, the story starts from there. You know, I thought the graphics were really great. Sony and Level 5, you know, they teamed up to make this. They were going to, you know, it was supposed to challenge Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy, but you know, I guess it didn't do that. And yeah, excellent game. If you haven't played it, I do recommend it. It's just another really good RPG. So yeah, that's my top 3, and you know, let me know what your top 3 in the comments. I also want to thank Christpher Pico, the old ass retro gamer. I asked him, like, hey man, I really enjoy your series, and I want to make my own videos. You know, can I find out what your topic is and record a video and let people know what my top 3 are? And so thank you, Christopher. I do appreciate it. And also Corpse Flood Gaming. He's another cool guy. He has a real passion. It's fun to see him doing videos with his daughters in them. And yeah, so thank you, both of you, to letting me into your subject and letting me do a video. I will put links in the description, so definitely check them out. Check out their videos. I am really excited to find out what theirs are. Anyways, thanks for checking out my video, and I will catch you later. I will work on the channel, get more graphics, and you know, do something, you know, something cooler. Also want to shout out my friend from St. Louis, Owen Godwin. Overthink. He let me use some of his music, so check out his stuff. I'll put a link in his description also. He's been experimenting with making wearable music, so yeah, you could find out about it. Just check him out. Thank you, Owen. Thank you, Chris and Corpse Flood.